Hello and welcome to this second look exploring session at the Tragedy of Hoffman. We've already done a first look exploring session at this, where we stopped and started and discussed it, but now we're going to do it at pace. We're not going to be reading stage directions, so some things may not make full sense, but just work on the assumption if someone starts screaming, they're probably dying horribly. And we're going to see how it all flows at pace and see how much fun we can have with it. This is our wonderful room of readers. Say hello, all wonderful room of readers.
Hello.
If you want to know what parts they are playing, look in the show description, and that should all become very, very clear, fingers crossed. But it's a lot of text to cram into one session, so we're going to, without further ado, start at the top of the play with the discovery of Hoffman. Enter Hoffman, title character of the play.
Hence, clouds of melancholy. I'll be no longer subject to your schisms. But thou, dear soul, whose nerves and arteries in dead resounding summon up revenge, and thou shalt have it. Be but appeased, sweet hearse, thou dead remembrance of my living father. And with a heart as air, swift as thought, I'll execute it justly in such a cause, where truth leadeth. What coward would not fight? Ill acts move some, but mine's a cause is right. See the powers of heaven in apparitions and sight, full aspects as incensed that I thus tardy am to do an act which justice and a father's death excites, like threatening meteors antedates destruction. Again, I come. Be silent, those effigies of fair virtue, that like a goodly sign were plucked up by murderous winds, infectious blasts and gusts. I will not leave thee, until like thyself I've made thy enemies, then hand in hand will walk to paradise. Again, more blessed, I'll to yon Promont's top, and there survey what shipwrecked passengers the Belgic sea casts from her foamy entrails by mischance. Roar sea and winds, and with celestial fires quicken high projects with your highest desires.
Yeah, this is somewhat like, but Brambles, you are too busy. Were I at Lüneburg and you catched me thus, I should go near to ask you at whose suit. But now I am out of scent, and fear no sergeants, for I think these woods and waters are commonwealths that need no such subjects. Nay, they keep not a constable at sea, but a man's overwhelmed without order. Well, drier land, I love thee, though thou swarm with millions of devourers, yet hast thou no such swallow as the sea.
Thou liest. There lives upon the earth more beasts with wide devouring throats than can be found of ravenous fishes in the ocean. The huge Leviathan is but a shrimp compared with our Bellina on the land.
I am of your mind, but the whale has a wide mouth to swallow fleeting waters and poor fish.
But we have epicures and cormorants, whom neither sea nor land can hardly serve. They feed them far, while arms and honour starve. Desert looks pale as death, like those bare bones.
Amazed.
Seest thou then trembling, slave, here were arms, that served the trothless state of Lüneburg?
So do I, sir, serve the Duke's son of the state.
I laugh to see how dastard fear hastens the death-doomed wretch to his distress. Say, didst thou serve the Duke of Lüneburg?
His son, Otto, sir. I'm a poor follower of his, and my master is erring of himself at your cell.
Is he that 'scaped the wreck young Lüneburg?
Aye, sir, the same, sir. You are in the right, sir.
Revenge, I kiss thee. Vengeance, you're at liberty. Wouldst thou, having lost a father, as I have, whose very name dissolves my eyes to tears, should duty and thy love so different prove, not to avenge his death, whose better part was thine, thou his, when he fell, part of thee fell with him, each drop being part thine own, wouldst thou not be revenged?
Yes, upon the murderer.
On him, or any man that is allied, or has 1 ounce of blood of which he's part. He was my father. My heart still bleeds, nor can my wounds be stopped till an incision I've made to bury my dead father in. Therefore, without protraction, sighing or excuses, swear to be true, to aid, assist me, not to stir or contradict me in any enterprise I shall now undertake or hereafter.
I swear.
Were I persuaded that thou couldst shed tears, as doth the Egyptian serpent near the Nile, if thou wouldst kiss and kill, embrace and stab, then shouldst thou live, for my invective brain hath cast a glorious project of revenge. E'en as thou kill'st, wilt thou turn villain? Speak.
Oh, sir, when was I otherwise? From my creation, nothing else. I was made of no other stuff. Villainy is my patrimony. Though I be an irreligious slave, yet I have a religious name. Though I want courage, yet in talk I put them all down. Though I have nothing in me that is good, yet I'll...
Forbear, thy lord is coming. I'll go in and royally provide for such a prince. Say thou hast met the kindest heart alive, one that adores him with no less zeal than rich men gold or true religious heaven. Dissemble cunningly, and thou shalt prove the minion of my thoughts, friend of my love.
Well, sir, never fear me. This is an excellent fellow, a true villain, fitter for me than better company. This is Hans Hoffman's son, that stole down his father's anatomy from the gallows at Lüneburg. Aye, 'tis the same upon the dead skull. There is the iron crown that burnt his brains out. What will come of this? I neither know nor care. But here comes my lord. How cheers my most noble, my most honourable, my most gracious, yea, my most grieved prince?
A fearful storm.
Oh, and full of horror.
Trust me, Lorrique, besides the inly grief that swallows my content, when I perceive how greedily the fierce, unpitying sea and waves devoured our friends, another trouble grieves my vexed eyes with ghastly apparitions, strange aspects which either I do certainly behold, or else my soul, divining some sad tale, fills my imaginary power with shapes hideous and horrid.
Oh, my lord, let your heart have no commerce with that mart of idle imaginations. Rouse up your nobleness to apprehend comfort, kindness, ease, and what otherwise entertain so solitary a place as this can the ancient subject of the state of Lüneburg collect. 'Tis, I take it, the son of that vice-admiral that turned a terrible pirate.
Let us turn back into the sea again, yielding our bodies to the ruthless sound that hath divided us and our late friends, rather than see Klaus Hoffman.
Oh, courage, brave Otto. He'll use thee kindly. Oh, here he comes. Sweet host, here is the Duke's son of Lüneburg. Do homage, and after entertain him, and me his follower, with the most conspicuous pleasures that lie in thy poor ability.
Before I speak to my most sacred lord, I join my soft lips to the solid earth, and with an honourable benison I bless the hour, the place, the time of your arrive. For now my savage life, led among beasts, shall be turned civil by your gracious help.
I see thy heart's true love drop down in tears, and this embrace shows I am free from fears. My disturbed blood runs smoothly through my veins, and I am bold to call thee friend, bold to entreat food, for by wreck I've lost ship, friends, and meat.
You that attend, my lord, enter the cave. Bring forth the homely cates these hands prepared, while I entreat his excellence sit down. Villain, bring nothing but a burning crown.
What's that thou bidst him bring? A burning crown?
Still, you suspect my harmless innocence. What though your father with the power of state, and your just uncle Duke of Prussia, after my father had in 30 fights filled their treasures with foemen spoils, and paid poor soldiers from his treasury? What though, for these his merits, he was named a prescript outlaw for a little debt, compelled to fly into the Baltic Sound and live a pirate?
Prithee speak no more. Thou raisest new doubts in my troubled heart by repetition of thy father's wrongs.
Then he was wronged, you grant, but not by you. You, virtuous gentleman, sat like a just judge of the under-shades, and with an unchanged Rhadamantine look beheld the flesh mangled with many scars pared from the bones of my offended father, and when he was a bare anatomy, you saw him chained unto the common gallows.
Hoffman.
Nay, hear me patiently, kind lord. My innocent youth, as guilty of his sin, was in a dungeon hidden from the sun, and there I was condemned to endless night, except I passed my vow never to steal my father's fleshless bones from that base tree. A woman, in whose heart there still remained a lingering sense of pity, here stepped forth. I knew not who it was, I guess your mother. She kneeled and wept for me, but you did not, beseeching from that vow I might be freed. Then did I swear, if nature's sovereign power compelled me to take down those naked bones, I never would release them from those chains, never entomb them, but immediately remove them from that gallows to a tree. I kept mine oath. Look, Lüneburg, 'tis done. Behold a father hanged up by his son.
Horrible aspect. Murderer, stand off. I know thou mean'st me wrong.
My lord, behold these precious twins of light, burnt out, eclipsed, by day when as the sun for shame obscured himself. This deed was done where none but screech owls sung. Thou receptacle, thou organ of the soul, rest, go rest, and you, most lovely couplets, legs and arms, reside forever here. This is my last farewell. What, do ye weep?
Lorrique, I am betrayed. Slave, touch me not.
Not touch thee? Yes, and thus strip down thy pride. You placed my father in a chair of state. This earth shall be your throne. Villain, come forth. And as thou meant'st to save thy forfeit life, fix on thy master's head my burning crown, while in these cords I in eternal bands bind fast his base and coward trembling hands.
Lorrique, art thou turned villain to my life?
I will turn anything, sir, rather than nothing. I was taken alive and promised to betray you. I love life so well that I would not lose it for a kingdom, for a king's crown, an empire.
On with the crown.
Torture above measure.
My father felt this pain when thou hadst pleasure.
Thy father died for piracy.
Oh, peace! Had he been judge himself, he would have showed he had been clearer than the crystal morn. But wretches sentenced never find defence, however guiltless be their innocence. No more did he, no more shalt thou. No ruth pitied his winter age, none helps thy youth.
Oh, Lorrique, torture. I feel it Etna burn within my brains, and all my body else is like a hill of ice. All these Baltic seas that now surround us that cannot quench this flame. Death like a tyrant seizes me unawares. My sinews shrink like leaves parched with the sun. My blood dissolves, nerves and tendons fail. Each part's disjointed, and my breath expires. Mount so to heaven, my body burns in fires.
He's gone.
Let him go. Come, Lorrique, this is but the prologue to the ensuing play, the first step to revenge. This scene is done. Father, I offer thee thy murderer's son.
Princes of Saxony and Austria, though your own words are of sufficient weight to justify the honourable love that's borne by Lodowick to bright Lucibella, yet, since your parents live, and as I hear, there is between them some dissension, blame us not for detaining you thus long, till we have notice how the business stood.
Your royal entertain, great Ferdinand, exceeding expectation in our stay, binds us to thanks, and if my brother please to hold his challenge, for a tournament in praise of Lucibella's excellence, no doubt our father and the Austrian Duke will be in person at so royal sport.
We trust they will.
I do assure your grace, the Austrian and the Duke of Saxony, by true report of pilgrims at my cell, from either of their courts set hitherward some 6 days since.
Thanks, Roderick, for these news. They are more welcome than the sad discourse of Luneburg, our nephew's wreck, which addeth sorrow to the mourning griefs abounding in us for our Duchess' death.
Aye, truly, princes, my father has had but hard luck since your coming to his court. For aught I know, you are bred of ill weather, come here before you were sent for. Yet, if my most gracious father say you are welcome, I, his more gracious son, take you by the hands, though I can tell you, my mother's death comes somewhat near my heart. But I'm a prince, and princes have power more than common people to subdue their passions.
We know your worthiness is experienced in all true wisdom.
True, I am no fool. I have been at Wittenberg, where wit grows.
Peace, thou unshapen horror, my state shame, my age corsive, my black sin's curse. Oh, hadst thou never lived, I had been then a happy, childless man. Now among men I am the most unhappy, one that knows no end of mine or of my people's woes. I tell you, princess and most gracious maid, I do not wear these sable ornaments for Isabella's death, though she were dear, nor are my eyelids overflown with tears for Otho of Luneburg, wrecked in the Sound, though he were all my hope. But here's my care. A witless fool must needs be Prussia's heir.
Well, and you're not my father's nails, and I would draw rather than put up a fool. Would I might never win this lady at tilt and tournament. As knight, I defy you both for her. Even you, Lodowick, that love her, and your brother that loves you. Look to me. Stilt, for I have practiced these 2 days. Nails, God forgive me to swear, she shall not be carried away so.
We are glad to hear your grace so resolute.
As I am a prince and a duke's heir, though I say it myself, I am as full of resolution as the proudest of you all.
I thank Prince Lodowick. He has bound my youth to be the conqueror's prize, and if my stars allot me to be yours, I will be proud. For howsoever you seem not fashioned like me and cunning courtiers, I protest by some small love I bear thee. In mine eye, your worthy beauty, wealth, and dignity is well deserving of all due respect.
Heart, who would not unhorse Hercules for her favors? I'll practice again at Danzig. I say, in the Duke's mead, I'll meet thee, Mathias. Here's my glove for a gauntlet. Though my father count me a fool, you shall find me none.
Would I ever might find thee anything, but thou art indeed nothing in esteem. My sad soul sinks with sorrow at thy sight.
Health to the right gracious, generous, virtuous, valorous Ferdinand, Duke of Prussia.
Hermit, dost thou not know this young man's face? Is not Lorrique that met us at thy cell with letters from our brother Luneburg?
It is that gentleman.
I am no less.
Thou saidst thou wert my nephew's playfellow, appointed to await his virtuous person. How is it then thou wert so ill-advised to take the land away so, and forsake thy lord, whom I have never seen, nor never may, though in his life my hopes and comfort lay?
Oh, be it known, right gracious, Lorrique had never so little grace as to leave his loved lord for weather or water, for torture or fire, for death or for life, since he first came to move in a pilgrim's proportion, much disguised, being so proper a man, but only for these 6 words that I was sent wholly to give notice of his cunning.
But thou hast left him now sunk in the sea?
I left the ship sunk, and his highness saved. For when all hope had left master and pilot, sailor and swabber, I caused my lord to leap into the cock, and for she would be sunk with too much company, I capered out and cut the cable. Bouse, quoth the ship against the rocks. Rumour, cry I in the cock. My lord wept for the company. I laughed to comfort him. Last, by the power of heaven, goodness of stars, kindness of winds, mercy of the waves, our cock and we were cast ashore under Hoserhoft. We clambered up, but having escaped drowning, were in danger of killing.
Be brief. What there betided you?
Marry, my lord, a young villain, son of a damned pirate, a maid ravisher.
Be brief. What was he?
Klaus Hoffman.
My heart. Did the false rebel hurt his sovereign son?
Oh, no, my lord. The prince so huffed and hosied him that he had no other help but to his heels, and then I, my good lord, being row-footed, outstripped him in running, tripped him by strength, and in fine, finally cut his throat.
Where is the villain's body?
Marry even heaved over the scar and sent a swimming towards Butterthome, his old habitation, if it be not intercepted by some seal, shark, sturgeon, or such like.
Where is our nephew?
He intends to stay at the same hermitage where I saluted your excellence with news of my Lord Excellency's intent to visit you, for that his apparel is somewhat seasick, and he wants shift.
A chariot and rich robes attend Lorrique, and his reward be $1,300, for he hath driven dolour from our heart. Princes and princess, in your kindest love, attend our person to the Hermitage, where we shall meet the heir of two great states, rich Lüneburg and warlike Prussia. Otto living will disinherit our fond son, and bless our Danzig by our son elect. Hermit, you have at home a guest of ours. Your little cell is a great prince's court. Had you been there to entertain young Otto, he would have took your welcome thankfully, where now he mourns for want of company.
I will go on before, my gracious lord.
Nay, I am jealous of my approaching joy, and fearful any eye but mine should gain the pleasure of my glad divining soul. Forward, come all, in my delight take part. He that's now glad adds joy to gladness hearts.
If there live ever a surgeon that dare say he could do better, I'll play Mercury, and like fond Mathias, the quacksalver flay. They were a sort of filthy mountebanks, expert in nothing but in idle words, made a day's work with their incision knives on my oppressed poor father. Silly men, thrusting their dastard fingers in his flesh, that durst not while he lived behold his face. I fitted my anatomy in a fair chain too. Father, this youth scorned when he was set on an ascending throne to have you stand by him. Would he could see how the case alters. You shall hang by him, and hang afore him too, for all his pride. Come, image of bare death, join side to side with my long injured father's naked bones. He was the prologue to a tragedy that, if my destinies deny me not, shall pass those of Thyestes, Tereus, Jocasta, or Duke Jason's jealous wife. So, shut our stage up. There is one act done, ended in Otto's death. 'Twas somewhat single. I'll fill the other fuller, if Lorrique, that I have late sworn to be murderer's slave, swears he will protest me to be Otto, whom Prussia, his uncle, unknown loves. If I be taken from him, well, oh then, sweet vengeance, make me happiest of all men. Prussia, I come as comets against change, as apparitions before mortal ends. If thou accept me for thy nephew, so, uncle, I'll uncle thee of thy proud life. Father, farewell. I'll to the hermitage, where if I be received for Lüneburg, I will have thy dry bones sanguined all o'er with thy foe's blood. Rhamnusia, help thy priest. My wrongs thou knowest, my willingness thou seest.
Come, Stilt, bestir your stumps. You know I must be a tilter.
Aye, my lord, I know you should be one, but I hope you're not so mad.
What? Dost thou count it madness to run a tilt?
Aye, my lord, for you that cannot sit a hobby, you'll hardly manage a tilt horse.
Why, they say, Stilt, that stone mares are gentler. See if thou canst get me one of them.
Not before next grass. I could help you now to a stone mule or a stone ass.
Well, I'll try one course with these at a half pike, and then go. Come, draw thy pike.
That's not your fit word. You must say advance your pike. And you must be here, sir, and there, sir. You'll never learn for all my teaching.
I have answered you, Stilt, that princes have no need to be taught. And I have even determined with myself not to run at tilt, lest I hazard my horse and harness. Therefore, I'll go to court and only see my new cousin, that they say was drowned, and then retire to my castle at Helsen, and there write a new poem that I have taken pains in about these 10 years. It is in praise of Pictooths.
That will be excellent, my lord. The barbers will buy those poems abominably.
Nay, Sarah, I'll get a patent from the Duke, my father, for that poem. Cum privilegio ad imprimendum solum. Besides, thou shalt have a privilege that no man shall sell toothpicks without my seal. My father says I'm a fool. But I think I've bestowed my time well, so look out for setting a new nap upon his threadbare commonwealth. Who's that knocks? Who dares disturb our honorable meditation? Hark, Stilt, dost thou see no noise?
No, but I hear noise.
All then, my father and my cousin, stand aside, that I may set my countenance right to the mirror of knighthood, for your mirror of magistrates is somewhat sober. How likest me?
Oh, excellent! Where's your casting bottle?
Sprinkle, good Stilt, sprinkle, for my late practice has brought me into a strange savor. Ha, mother of me, thou hast almost blinded the eyes of excellence. But omnia bene, let them approach. Now, and I appear not like a prince, let my father cashier me, as he says he will.
Cashier you? No, do but manage your body and have here and here your congees and quid sequitur. Stilt knows, and all the court shall see.
Ferdinand, by the great divine grace, Prince of Heidelberg, Lord of Pomerania, and Duke of Prussia, for sundry reasons him moving, the quiet state of his people especially, which as a witless and insufficient prince disinherits Jerome Heidelberg, his known son, and adopteth Otto of Lüneburg, his sister's son, as heir, immediately to succeed after his death, in all provinces. God save Duke Ferdinand and Otto his heir.
Amen. Heaven witness how my heart is pleased with this conceit, the conceit of Prussia's after peace by this election.
Why, but hear you, father!
Away! Disturb us not. Let on and feast, for all our country in our choice is blessed.
Why, but Stilt, now, what's now to be done, Stilt?
Nay, that's more than I know. This matter will trouble us more than all your poem with toothpicks. Snails, you were better unknighted than Prince. I've lost all hopes of preferment of this old.
No more, Stilt. I have it here, 'tis in my head. And out it shall not come till red revenge in robes of fire and maddening mischief run and rave. They say I am a fool, Stilt, but follow me. I'll seek out my notes of Machiavel. They say he is an odd politician.
I faith he's so odd that he hath driven in even honesty from all men's hearts.
Well, sword, come forth. And courage, enter in. Breast, break with grief, yet hold to be revenged. Follow me, Stilt. Widows unborn shall weep, and beardless boys with armor on their backs shall bear us out, Stilt. We will have tread on Stilt, though the purple pavement of the court, which shall be, let me see, what shall it be? No court, but e'en a cave of misery. There's an excellent speech, Stilt. Follow me, pursue me. We'll acquire and either die or compass my desire.
Oh, brave master, not a lord. Stilt will walk and make the earth a stage, but he will have thee lord in spite of rage.
Sir, since you are content, you here shall find a sparing supper, but a bounteous mind, bad lodging, but a heart as free and generous as that which is fed with generous blood.
For hermitage is furnished for a prince.
Last night this roof covered the sacred heads of 5 most noble, fair, and gracious princes, Duke Ferdinand himself, and Otto, his nephew, the son of Saxony, and the Austrian princess.
Oh God, that girl which fled my court and love, mating love cover for her heedless fright.
Oh, pardon, great prince, are you the Austrian duke?
Hermit I am. Saxony's proud wanton sons were entertained like Priam's fireband at Sparta. All our state gladly appeared like cheerful Lacedaemons to receive those demons that with magic of their tongues bewitched my Lucibelle's, my heaven's ears.
Who travelleth so late? Who knocks so hard? Turn to the east end of the chapel, pray. We're ready to attend you.
Which is the way to Danzig?
There is no way to Danzig you can find without a guide thus late. Come near, I pray.
Look to our horses. By your leave, Master Hermit, we are soon bidden and will prove bold guests. God save you, sir.
That should be Saxony's tongue.
Indeed, I am the Duke of Saxony.
Then thou art father to lascivious sons that have made Austria childless.
O subtle Duke, thy craft appears in framing thy excuse. Thou dost accuse my young son's innocence. I sent them to get knowledge, learn the tongues, not to be metamorphosed with the view of flattering beauty, peradventure painted.
No, I defy thee, John of Saxony. My Lucibelle for beauty needs no art, nor do I think the virtues of her mind ever inclined to this ignoble course, but by the charms and forcing of thy sons.
Where thou durst maintain thy words, proud Duke.
I hope, great princes, neither of you dare commit a deed so sacrilegious. This holy cell is dedicated to the Son of Peace. The foot of war never profaned this floor, nor doth wrath here with his consuming voice affright these buildings. Charity with prayer, humility with abstinence combined are here the guardians of a grieved mind.
Father, we obey thy holy voice. Duke John of Saxony, receive my faith, till our ears hear the true course thy sons have taken with my fond and misled child. I proclaim truce. Why dost thou sullen stand? If thou wouldst peace, give me thy princely hand.
Thus do I plight thee troth, and promise peace.
Nay, but thy eyes agree not with thy heart. Vows of combination, there's a grace that shows the intention at the outward face. Look cheerfully, or I expect no league.
First, give me leave to view a while the person of this hermit. Austria, note him well. Is he not like my brother Roderick?
He's like him. I heard he lost his life long since in Persia by the Sophie's wars.
I heard so much, my lords, but that report was purely feigned, spread by my erring tongue. I am that Roderick that aspired your throne, that vile false brother who with rebel breath, drawn sword, and treacherous heart threatened your death.
My brother! Nay, then of faith, old John lay by thy sorrowing thoughts. Turn to thy wonted vein, and be mad John of Saxony again. Mad Roderick, art alive? My mother's son, her joy and her last birth, oh, she conjured me to use thee thus, and yet I banished thee. Body of me, I was unkind, I know, but thou deservest it then. But let it go. Say thou wilt leave this life thus truly idle and live a statesman. Thou shalt share and reign, commanding all but me, thy sovereign.
I thank your highness, I will think on it. But for my sins, this sufferance is more fit.
Tittle tattle, tell not me of sin. Now, Austria, once again, thy princely hand. I'll look thee in the face, and smile, and swear. If any of my sons have wronged thy child, I help thee in revenging it myself. But if, as I believe they mean but honor, as it appeareth by these justs proclaimed, then thou shalt be content to name him thine, and thy fair daughter I'll account as mine.
Agreed.
Austria, 'twas a world when you and I ran these careers, but now we are stiff and dry.
I'm glad you are so pleasant, my good lord.
'Twas my old mood. I was soon turned sad with over-grieving for this long-lost lad. Now the boy is grown as old as I. His very face is full of gravity.
Please, your graces, enter. I know the servants that attend on me by the appointment of the Duke Ferdinand. By this have covered.
Why, then let's in. Brother, I trust. And brother, hold you this hand. Roderick, hold the other. By heaven, my heart with happiness is crowned, that my long-lost brother now is found.
So, run on fate. My destinies are good. Revenge hath made me great by shedding blood. I am supposed the heir of Lüneburg, by which I am of Prussia prince-elect. Good. Who is wrong by this? Only a fool, and 'tis not fit that idiots should bear rule.
My lord, I have, as you enjoined, enticed Saxon's elder son to talk with you, and here he comes with his most excellent, amorous, and admirable lady.
Hast thou the hermit's weeds for my disguise?
Oh, all ready and fitting. In the next chamber. Your beard is point vice, not a hair amiss.
Faithful Lorrique, in thy unfaithfulness, I kiss thy cheek and give thee in that kiss the moiety of all my earthly bliss.
Good. I am half a monarch, half a fiend. Blood I begin in, and in blood must end. Yet this Klaus is an honest villain. He has conscience in his killing of men. He kills none but his father's enemies and their issue. Yes, 'tis admirable, 'tis excellent, 'tis well, 'tis meritorious. Where? In heaven? No, in hell.
Now, friend, where's Prince Otto?
Sad, sir, and grieved.
Why, prithee, why?
Oh, alas, I know not why. The hermit, Roderick, talked with him, somewhat of you and somewhat of the Duke, about surprising you and murdering Lodowick, or such a thing. Nay, sure, 'twas some such thing.
Surprising me and murdering Lodowick?
By whom? By what complot?
Oh, sure, by the Duke's. The Duke's an odd old lad. I know this night there's set a double guard, and there's some trick in that. But patience, sir. Here comes the hermit, holy, reverend man. Somewhat important wings his aged feet with speedy nimbleness. Heaven grant that all be well.
Princes, in pity of your youth, your love, your virtues, and what not that may move ruth, I offer you the tender of your lives, which yet you may preserve. But if you stay, death and destruction waiteth on your delay.
Who hath conspired our death? Speak, reverend man.
The Duke of Prussia, doting on your face, worthy indeed of wonder, being so fair, this night hath plotted first to murder you. The guard are set that you may not escape within, without, and round about the court. Only one way, through Prince Otto's lodging, is left. Here is the key, and for more proof of my great zeal and care, on with these robes. Within are Grecian habits for your heads. Nay, if you love life, do not stand amazed, but take the path towards my hermitage. Yet I advise you that you go not in. There may be more plots, too, for aught I know. But turn down by the river. There's a way leads to a little chapel. In that porch, stay till I visit you with better news.
I will but call my brother, and then go.
That were a going never to return. I'll send him after you, be well assured.
Oh God, the Duke of Prussia grown thus false? Such shows of friendship and so little faith.
Come, Lucibella, let's embrace these means. Duke Ferdinand shall, with a sorrowing heart, repent this base, dishonourable plot. Father, our fortunes, if they sought aright, shall with continual thankfulness requite this virtuous and charitable care. Farewell. We'll meet thee in the chapel porch. Bring Prince Mathias, our kind brother, thither, and thou shalt add good works to charity. Once more, farewell. Lorrique, There is for thee. Commend me to thy lord. Tell him this wrong of his false uncle shall meet full revenge. But do to him our duties. Come, chaste fair, we must not now with tilt and tournament maintain thine honour, but thy champion knight is forced by treason to unwilling flight.
So, run to mischief. Oh, my dear Lorrique, when I have summed up my account of death and robbed those fathers of their lives and joys that robbed me of my joy, my father's life, thus thy hand clasped in mine will walk and meditate and boast in the revenges I have wrought. That done, I'll seat thee by my throne of state and make thee rival in those governments that by thy secrecy thou liftest me to, shalt be a duke at least.
Oh, I thank your grace, but pray resolve me, what you now intend to those two princes, Lodowick and Mathias, and the thrice beauteous princess, Lucibella?
Death, certain. Call in Mathias. If my plot prove good, I'll make one brother shed the other's blood.
I'm nimble as your thought device. I'll execute what you command.
A precious villain, a good villain too. Well, if he be no worse, that is, do no worse, and honey me in my death-stinging thoughts, I will prefer him. He shall be preferred to hanging, peradventure. Why not? 'Tis well. His sufferance here may save his soul from hell. He comes. What news, my faithful servant? Where's the prince?
Oh, he's talking with the Lady Lucibel, and when I said your highness sent for him, he gan with courtly salutations to take his leave and to attend your grace.
Well, God ha' mercy, friend, thou'st got me grace. But more of that at leisure. Take this gown, my cloak, a chair. I must turn melancholy. Second whatever I say. Approve my words, that we may move Mathias to mad rage.
God save your excellence. What, sad, dull, heavy? Or are you now in meditation, which part to take tomorrow at the tilt? The mead is ringed with tents of strange knights, whose rich devices and comparisons exceed the Persian monarchs when he met destruction and pale death sent from the sword of Philip's son and his stout Macedons. Truly, Prince Otto, there's such warlike sight that would stir up a leaden heart to fight.
For what?
For honour and fair Lucibella.
Oh, Prince Mathias, it is well combined when honour is with fickle beauty joined. Where's your princely brother?
I cannot tell. I left him with his loved Lucibella.
But she has got another love, dishonoured all this rich assembly, left the memorial of such infamy as cannot die while men have memory.
How, pray you, how? What hath the princess done?
She, with a Grecian, is but now fled hence, belike some other love of hers before. Our tilt and tournament is spoiled and crossed. The fair we should defend, her faith is lost.
Fled with a Grecian? Saw you them go, Prince Otto?
Aye, I saw them go.
And would not stay them?
My true servant knows how at the sight of such inconstancy my gentle heart was smit with inward grief, and I sank down with sorrow.
What path, which way that I may overtake her harlot steps? Fled now, gone now, I'll go seek Lodowick.
Nay, then, you add an irreligious work to their lascivious acts. Follow yourself. I and my man will bear you company. Lorrique, as I think thou namest a chapel, a hermit, some such thing. I've lost the form.
I heard her say she could not travel far. He told her they would rest the dead of night near to a chapel by a hermitage.
Where is that chapel? Where that hermitage? If you have honour, princely Lunenburg, let's to that chapel. If you know the way, go, that I may kill our shame ere it see day.
I'll guide you to the chapel. Aid your arm in your revenge against that Grecian, but for the lady, spare her. She is fair.
I will do what I can. Oh, hell of life, who but a fool would strive to win a wife? Shall we call Lodowick?
No. 'Twould smite his soul in sunder, split his heart, if he should hear of such adulterate wrong. Cover the fault, or punish as you please, yet I would save her fame, for she deserves pity for her beauty.
For nothing, no, nothing. She's a harlot fair like gilded tombs, goodly without, within all rottenness. She's like a painted fire upon a hill, set to allure the frost-nipped passengers and starve them after hope. She is indeed, as all such strumpets are, angel in show, devil in heart. Come, if you love me, go.
Follow, Lorrique. We are in the right way.
Oh, to hell, I fear. Tush, let all fear go by. Who'll shun a bad way with good company?
Are you not faint, divinest Lucibel?
No, the clear moon strews silver in our path, and with her moist eyes weeps a gentle dew upon the spotted pavement of the earth, which softens every flower whereon I tread. Besides, travel in your company seems but a walk made in some goodly bower, where love's fair mother clips her paramour.
This is the chapel, and behold, a bank covered with sleeping flowers that miss the sun. Shall we repose us till Mathias comes?
The hermit soon will bring him. Let's sit down. Nature or art hath taught these boughs to spread, in manner of an arbour o'er the bank.
No, they bow down as veils to shadow you, and the fresh flowers, beguiled by the light of your celestial eyes, opens their leaves, as when they entertain the Lord of Day. You bring them comfort like the sun in May.
Come, come, you men will flatter beyond mean. Will you sit down and talk of the late wrongs intended by the Duke of Prussia?
Fairest, forget it. Leave till we are freed from hence. I will defy him, and cause all the knights assembled for our proposed tournament to turn their keen swords against his caitiff head.
Pray thee, no more. I feel thy blood turn hot, and wrath inflames thy spirit. Let it cease. Forgive this fault. Convert this war to peace.
Oh, love's sweet breath. With what a heavenly charm do your soft fingers my war thoughts disarm. Prussia had reason to attempt my life, enchanted by the magic of thy looks that cast a lustre on the blushing stars. Pardon, chaste queen of beauty. Make me proud to rest my toiled head on your tender knee. My chin with sleep is to my bosom bowed. Fair, if you please, a little rest with me?
No, I'll be sentinel. I'll watch, for fear of venomous worms or wolves or wolvish thieves. My hand shall fan your eyes, like the filmed wing of drowsy Morpheus, and my voice shall sing in a low compass or a lullaby.
I thank you. I am drowsy. Sing, I pray, or sleep. Do what you please. I'm heavy, aye. Good night to all our care. Oh, I am blessed by this soft pillow, where my head doth rest.
In sooth, I am sleepy too. I cannot sing. My heart is troubled with some heavy thing. Rest on these violets, whilst I prepare in thy soft slumber to receive a share. Blush not, chaste moon, to see a virgin lie so near a prince. 'Tis no immodesty, for when the thoughts are pure, no time nor place have power to work fair chastity's disgrace. Lodowick, I clasp thee thus, so arm clip arm, let sorrow fold them that wish true love harm.
Art sure thou'st found them?
Look, are these they?
Adulterer, strumpets!
Inhuman deed, what? Kill them both.
Both have abused our glory, both shall bleed.
How now? What have ye done? My Lodowick bleeds. Some savage beast hath fixed his ruthless fangs in my soft body. Lodowick, I faint. Dear, wake, my Lodowick. Alas, what means your breast to be so wet? Is it blood or sweat?
Oh, who troubles me?
Brother.
Who's that? Matthias?
Aye, accursed aye.
Where's the good hermit? Thank him for his love, yet tell him Ferdinand of Prussia hath a long arm. Some murder of his hath killed us sleeping.
Killed thee? Oh no! I trust the careful destinies deny so hard a fate. 'Tis I alone am killed. Come, Lodowick, and close up my night-veiled eyes, that never may again behold the day.
What means Matthias?
Hold me not, Prince Otto. I will revenge myself upon myself for fratricide. For damned fratricide, I've killed my brother sleeping in the arms of the divinest form that e'er had held breath. I've killed love's queen, defaced with my foul hand, the goodliest frame that ever nature built, and driven the graces from that mansion wherein they have continued from their birth. She now being dead, they'll dwell no more on earth.
What moved you to it, brother?
Jealous rage, suspicion by Prince Otto that Lucibella had fled with a base Greek. Oh, me accursed, I'm born to shame.
But I am wretcheder, that from the love devoted to the house of Saxony have thus begot this monster cruelty. I lay within an arbour, where I saw the princess and yourself in this disguise departing secretly my uncle's court. I judged you for a Greek as you appeared, told Prince Mathias of your secret flight, and he, led on by fury, followed you, where, thus deceived by night and your attire, hath robbed your heart of life, his own of joy.
Forgive me, brother. Pardon, fairest maid, and ere the icy hand of ashy death hold your fair bodies in his sable veil, discover why you put on this disguise.
To escape the lustful Duke of Prussia, who purposed this night to murder me and ravish her, whom death hath made his prey, my Lucibella, whose lights are marked with clouds that never will be cleared.
My uncle? Fie! Who buzzed into your head this damned lie?
It is no lie.
No lie, 'tis true, 'tis true. The Reverend Hermit Roderick told it us.
The hermit is a villain, damned in hell before the world's creation, if he said, my princely uncle purposed such a thought. Look to the princess, there is life in her. Cheer up your heart, Prince Lodowick. Courage, man, your being of comfort may recover her, while I bring forth the hermit and disprove this false assertion. Roderick is a slave, a vile and irreligious hypocrite. No hermit, but a devil, if he dare affirm such falsehood of Duke Ferdinand.
Roderick is not, as you report him, sir, nor did he e'er belie Duke Ferdinand.
Ne'er did? Why then did you maliciously advise Prince Lodowick and fair Lucibella to fly the Prussian court this dismal night?
Who, I? I spake not with them.
Yes, you did.
Where was it that he spake with you? Tell us where.
Danzig, in the Duke of Prussia's court.
Who heard him besides you?
The Princess Lucibella.
As heaven shall help my fleeting soul, I did.
It speaks my dukedom's hope in hollow sounds. Look up, fair child. Here's Saxony and I. Thy father, Lucibella, look on me. I am not angry that thou fledst away, but come to grace thy nuptials. Prithee, speak.
Father, I thank you. Lodowick, reach me thy hand. How cold thou art! Death now assails our hearts, having triumphed o'er the outward parts. Farewell awhile. We die, but part to meet, where loves are certain, pleasures endless sweet. Father, this latest boon of you I crave. Let him and me lie in one bed and grave.
Ah me, oh miserable, wretched me.
Hover a little longer, blessed soul. Glide not away too fast. Mine now forsakes his earthly mansion, and on hope's gilt wings will gladly mount with thine, where angels sing celestial ditties to the King of Kings. Brother, adieu. Your rashness I forgive. Pardon me, father. Pardon, Austria, your daughter has become a bride for death. The dismal eve before her wedding day. Hermit, God pardon thee. Thy double tongue hath caused this error, but in peace. Farewell. He that lifts us to heaven, keep thee from hell.
Oh, strange conjecture! What should move this prince to charge me with such horrid cruelty?
I'll tell the hypocrite.
Stay, Mathias, stay. It is my uncle Roderick, and besides, my honor and Duke's Austria's shall be gauged. He never parted from our company in his own hermitage since day declined, and glimmering twilight ushered in the night.
Not from his hermitage?
Not he.
Is it possible?
By heaven, he did not.
Then there is villainy. Practice and villainy. Mathias has been wronged and drawn to kill his natural brother, with him to destroy the rarest piece of nature's workmanship, no doubt by practice and base villainy. The hermit not at court. Strange, wondrous.
For my son and Austria's worthy child.
Thou weepst in scorn, and every tear of thine covers a smile. Saxony, I defy all truce, all league of love. Guard thee, proud Duke. Thy sons have made me childless. I'll have thee consort in death with my wronged girl and me.
Help! Prince Mathias, hermit! Oh, the heavens! The Austrian Duke sinks down upon the earth.
Proud John of Saxony, hast thou no wound?
Not any, Austria, neither touched I thee.
Somebody touched me home. Vain world, farewell. Dying, I fall on my dead Lucibella.
Sir, what are you that take on you to part? It's by your weapon that the Duke has fallen.
If I thought so, I'd fall upon this point, but I am innocent of such an ill. Kill my good kinsman, Duke of Austria, then were Prince Otto of Lüneburg set down in sad despair's black book to rave and die. But I am free from such iniquity.
Are you Prince Otto of Lüneburg?
He is, and heir apparent to Duke Ferdinand.
And maybe the moon deceives me, and my grief as well as in the distinguishing of sounds of sight. I've heard of young Lüneburg and seen him too at Hoffman's overthrow. He looked not like you, neither spake him like you.
Father, 'tis he, Lorrique, his man, attends that fellow who is all composed of mirth. Mirth? Oh, death, why should I think of mirth after so foul a murder? Come, lend hands to give this princely body funeral rites, that I may sacrifice this hand and heart for my peace offering on their sepulchres.
Nay, boy, thou shalt not leave old Saxony childless for all the sorrow. Prince, and if Otho help in my son with noble Austria, Lodowick shall be my burden. Brother, yours the lovely but the luckless Lucibella, so tread a heavy measure. Now let's go to inter the dead, our hearts being dead with woe.
There's life in Lucibella, for I feel a breath more odoriferous than balm thrill through the coral portals of her lips. Apparent signs of life, her pulses beat. Oh, if I could but yet recover her, 'twould satisfy the state of Austria, that else would be disturbed for want of heirs. Heaven be propitious. Guide my hand to preserve fainting life in this fair form. Grant this, thou soul of all divinity, and I will strive, whatever mortal may, to serve thee on my knees both night and day. Tarry, Prince Otho, see the bodies balmed.
I pray you, think me not in passion dull. I must withdraw and weep. My heart is full. O reverend man, thou bearest the richest fruit that ever fell in its unripened spring. Go lay her soft. She had ill fate to fall, but rich or fair or strong, death swallows all. Hola, Lorrique, leave our horses and draw near. Help me to sing a hymn unto the fates composed of laughing interjections.
Why, my good lord, what accidents have chanced to tickle so your spleen?
Oh, my dear self, thou trusty treasurer of my revenge, kneel down and at my bidding kiss the earth, and in her cold ear whisper this strict charge, that she provide the best of her perfumes, the fat of lambs wrapped from the bleating ewes, the sweetest smelling wood she can devise, for I must offer up a sacrifice to blessed occasion that hath seconded with means opportune my desire of wreak.
Now I have kissed the earth, let me partake in your great joy that seems to exceed your hopes. Are Lodowick and the princess murdered?
'Tis done. Go, hie thee to Duke Ferdinand. Tell him how misadventure and mistrust hath killed Prince Lodowick and bright Lucibella by Prince Mathias's hand. Or add to that chance another unexpected incident. Say that the Dukes of Austria and Saxony, being by the hermit Roderick entertained, and hearing outcries in the dead of night, came and beheld the tragic spectacle, which sight did so enrage the Austrian Duke that he assailed the Saxon, but fell slain on his pale daughter, now deflowered by death.
Is Austria then slain by Saxony?
Oh, come, he's dead, either by him or me. No matter, he's gone. There's more to go. Run with the news. Away.
Father, set you the army in array while I invocate the general folk. Fibs, foremen, and friends all, officers all, help to marshal. Prince Jerome, my lord, shall remunerate that shall be full of thanksgiving, while nature is able to nourish or sustain. Father, you have ordered stay, the rest be sententious. And full of circumstance, I advise you, and remember this, that more than mortality fights on our side, for we have treason and iniquity to maintain our quarrel.
Huh? What says my son? Treason and iniquity.
Reason and iniquity. There's little controversy in the words, but I like a captain courageous. I pray go forward. Remember the place you're in, no more than this, but the days, no more but this. The days of old, and no more but that, and the glory, Father, knighthood at last, to the utter defacing of you and your posterity, no more but so.
Well, go thy ways. Thou art able to put fire into a flint stone. Thou hast as rheumatic a tongue to persuade as any in between Pole and Pomer. But thou art even kith after kind. I am thy father, and was infamous for my exprobations to discourage a assembly of tall soldiers afore thou wast born, and I've made them stand to it, tooth and nail. How say you, most valiant and reprobate countrymen? Have ye not heard I have been a stinger, a tickler, and a wormer?
Yes, noble ancient. Captain Stilt, you have removed men's hearts. I have heard that of my father, God bless his soul, when you were but one of the common soldiers that served old Hoffman in Norway.
I then was, and Hoffman was, a gentleman who would not have given his head for the washing. But he's cut off, as all valiant cavalieros shall be, and they do not be more negligent of themselves. But to the purpose, we are dissembled and fallen into battle bewray in the behalf of Prince Jerome, a virtuous prince, a wise prince, and a more respectless prince, my son Timothy's master, and the unlawful heir of this land. Now, sir, the old Duke has put out a declamation, and says our rising is no other than a resurrection. For the prince inspires not against his father, but the Duke inspires against his son, using him most naturally, charitably, abominably, to put him from intercession of the crown. Wherefore, as ye be true men and obstinate subjects to the state, uncover your heads and cast up your caps, and cry, "Hey, Jerome!
A Jerome!
Hey, Jerome! A Jerome! A Jerome!
Most noble countrymen, I cannot but condole in joy and smile in tears to see you assemble in my right. But these are lamentations that I, poor prince, must make, who, for my father's proclamation, am like to lose my head, except you stand to me, for they are coming on with bows, bills, and guns against us. But if you be valiant, to stand to me lustily, all the earth shall roar, and we'll have victory.
A Jerome!
On these traitors, valiant gentlemen, let not that beast the multitude confront with garlic breath and their confused cries the majesty of me, their awful Duke. Strike their Tuckersin body down to fire, that dare against us their sovereign conspire.
Come, you have your hands full and enough. Come, where have we to do? Stand to it, Stilt.
To stand to it. Here's the father and the son will stand through all the rest fly away.
I warrant you, Prince, when the battle comes rejoicing, my son and I will be invisible, and they overcome us. I'll give you leave to say I have no pith in me. Upon him, true prince, upon him.
I thought 'twould come to that. I thought we should bring the false prince to his knees.
What means my dukedom's hope to turn thus base? Arise and smite thy foes.
I see them not, most honoured uncle. Pity, I beseech, those silly people that offend as babes, not understanding how they do offend, and suffer me, chief agent in the wrong, to plead their pardons with a peaceful tongue.
We scorn pardons, peace, and pity. We'll have a prince of our own choosing, Prince Jerome.
Aye, Prince Jerome or nobody. Be not obstacle, old duke. Let not your own flesh and blood be inherited of your dukedom and a stranger displaced in his territory. For an ye do, we will take no comparison of you and your army, but fall upon you like temperance and lightning.
On your peril, gentlemen, assail!
If any bosom meet the brunt of war, mine shall be first opposed. These honest men that rise in arms for my young cousin's right shall be protected while Prince Otto stands.
Why, see now what a thing majesty is. Stilt and the rest of my good people, my cousin Otto, looking but in the face of our excellence, cannot choose but take our part.
Nay, but trust him not, my lord. Take heed of him, aware your enemies are at hand.
Why should you make this intercession for these abjects, whose presumptuous hearts have drawn their rebel bodies against their head? Entreat not for them. They are all but dead.
Forbear a little, worthy countrymen.
Nay, we deny that. We are none of your countrymen. You're an arrant alien.
True, son, a mere peregrination, and one that was not born within our duke's dominion, and therefore not to be remitted to any substantial degree of office amongst us. That is the fine, that is the confusion of all.
But hear me.
Aye, pray hear him. Nay, I charge you all upon pain of death that you hear my cousin.
Well, William, come on, speak. What will you say?
Oh, I beseech you, save your lives and goods, for the Duke's squadrons armed with wrath and death watch but the signal when to seize on you, that can no more withstand their approved strength than sparrows can contend with towering hawks, or owlets gainst the eagle's eyrie. This act of yours, by gathering to a head, is treason capital, and without grace your lives are forfeit to extremist law.
Mass, he says true, son. But what's the remedy?
None at all, father. Now we're in, we must through stitch.
Yes, there is a remedy. Cast your weapons down, and arm yourselves with mercy of your prince, who like a gracious shepherd ready stands to take his lost sheep home with gentle hands. As for your prince, I will for him entreat that he may be restored again in love, and unto offices of dignity as either taster, sewer, cupbearer, the place himself thinks fittest for his state. And for my part, when that unhappy time of princely Ferdinand's sad death shall come, which moment, but should I, as I say, behold that hour, although I am elected for your prince, yet would I not remove this gentleman, but rather serve him as his counsellor.
Give me your hand of that, cousin. Well said. Now, get a pardon for me and my merry men all, and then let me be my father's taster, being the office that belonging to his eldest son, I being the same, and then you shall see me behave myself, not as a rebel nor reprobate, but as a most reasonable prince and sufficient subject.
Well, since my lord has said the word, being that he spoke of to pass, and you shall have my word too, and old Stilt my father's, being a man of good reproach, I tell you, and condemnation in his country.
That I am, my lord. I have lived in name and shame these 67 winters, and all my neighbours can bear testament and accord.
Well, rest ye quiet. Sovereign, on my knees, I beg your highness to grant their request. Suppose them silly, simple, and your own, to shed their blood were just, yet rigorous. The praise of kings is to prove gracious.
True soul of honour, substance of myself, thy merit wins their mercy. Go in peace, lay by your unjust arms, live by your sweat, and in content the bread of quiet eat.
God save Duke
God
Ferdinand.
save Duke Ferdinand.
Duke Ferdinand.
Father, forgive me, prithee, and my men, and my man's father, by our single selves, for we have been the capital offenders.
Aye, truly, my lord, we raise the resurrection.
I pardon all. I give thee my taster's place. Honour this prince that thus hath won you grace.
God
God
save,
save Duke Ferdinand and Prince
Otto.
Otto.
I and me too.
And Prince Jerome too. Well, son, I'll leave thee a courtier still and get me home to my own desolation, where I'll labor to compel away excessity. And so, fare ye well.
This business over, worthy nephew Otto, let us go visit the sad Saxon duke, the mourning hermit, and the poor Prince Mathias, that through affection wrought his brother's fall.
I'll wait your highness to that house of woe, where sad mischance sits in a purple chair, and underneath her beetle cloudy brows smiles at unlooked-for mischiefs. Oh, there doth grief unpainted in true shape appear.
Shrill trumpets sound a flourish, for the cries of war are drowned.
Nay, but cousin, is it not necessary I wait upon my father, and Stilt upon me?
'Tis most expedient. Be obsequious. No doubt his excellence will like that well.
Dieu vous garde, monsieur.
Welcome, my friend. Hast any suit to me?
Ah, oui, monsieur. If you'd be the Grand Prince legitimate of Prussia, I have for tender to your excellency the service of one poor gentil homme of Champagne.
I am not he you look for, gentlemen. My cousin is the true and lawful prince.
I, sir, I am the legitimate, and I am able to entertain a gentleman, though I say it, and he be of any quality.
Lorrique, now or never, play thy part. This act is even our tragedy's best part.
Let me alone for plots and villainy. Only commend me to this fool of a prince.
I tell thee, I am the prince. My cousin knows it. That's my cousin, and this is Stilt, my man.
À votre service, monsieur, mon généreux.
No doubt he is some cunning gentleman. Your grace may do a deed befitting you to entertain this stranger.
It shall be done, cousin. I'll talk with him a little and follow you. Go, commend me to my father, tell him I am coming, and Stilt and this stranger. Be mindful, cousin, as you will answer to my princely indignation.
Well, sir, I will be careful, never doubt. Now, scarlet mistress, from thick sable clouds thrust forth thy blood-stained hands. Applaud my plot, that giddy wanderers amazed stand, while death strikes down suspectless Ferdinand.
Sweet prince, I scarce understand this fellow well, but I like his conceited, not trusting Prince Otto. You must give him the remove, that's flat.
Aye, begad, he has chosen against you. He gives you good word, so he doth. But he will have one physique or dram for you, begad, for company in principality be no possible.
Well, I apprehend thee. I have a certain princely feeling in myself that he loves me not.
Hold you there, my lord. I'm but a poor fellow, and have a simple living left me. Yet my brother, were he a natural brother of my own, should he be adopted, I would adopt him, inherit him, I'd fit him.
Aye, but how, Stilt? How?
Ah, begad, my lord, I will tell him 5 knacks for make him kick up his heels and cry, "Oui," or begad, I'll be hang. And so shall I be too, for the Lady Isabella's sake, your most très excellent lady mother.
Didst thou know her, French doctor, didst thou?
Aye, as beggars do the ladies, are their almsgivers.
Begad, you lie like a jackanapes. I love the lady with the bon cœur, and for her sake, here, take this same. Put this in the cup, where the competitor Prince Otho shall drink, begad. It will poison him bravely.
That were excellent, my lord, and it could be done and nobody know on it.
Aye, but he always drinks in my father's cup.
Ah, So let it be. Let the Duke drink the same.
What? Poison my father? No, I like not that so well.
You shall drink too, and he too, and you, when you be sick, as you shall have a petty rumble in the tummy, the belly, then take the same, and give your father this, but your cousin none of it. And begar, nobody shall be dead, and kick and cry, oh, but Otho.
This is excellent, master.
Well, physician, attend in my chamber here till Stilt and I return, and if I pepper him not, say I'm not worthy to be called a duke, but a drawlatch.
Farewell, oui, and je bid à vous. And we speed by thy practice will crush a cup of thine old country wine.
Go, speed to spoil yourself. Doctor, lie there. Lorrique, like thyself appear. So now I'll post unto the hermitage and smile, while silly fools act treason through my guile.
See, princely uncle, the black dormitory where Austria and Prince Lodowick are laid, on the cold bed of earth, where they must sleep till earth and air and sea consume by fire.
Their rest be peace, their rising glorious. Sad mourners, give your partners leave to kneel, and make their offertory on this tomb that doth contain the honourablest earth that ever went upright in Germany.
Welcome, Duke Ferdinand. Come, kneel. Thus should each friend another's sorrow feel.
Is Lucibella in this monument?
No, she's recovered from death's violence, but through her wounds and grief, distract of sense.
Heaven help her. Here she comes.
Kneel still, I pray.
Oh, me accursed, why live I this black day?
Oh, a sword! I pray you kill me not, for I'm going to the riverside, to fetch white lilies and blue daffodils, to stick in Lodowick's bosom where it bled. And in mine own, my true love is not dead. No, you're deceived in him. My father is. Reason he should. He made me run away, and Lodowick too, and you, Mathias, too. Alack for woe! Yet, what's the remedy? We must run all away, yet all must die. 'Tis so. I wrought it in a sampler. 'Twas heart in hand, and true love's knots and words, all true stitch by my troth, the posy thus. No flight, dear love, but death shall sever us. No, that did not neither. He lies here, does he not?
Yes, lovely madam. Pray be patient.
Aye, so I am. But pray you, tell me true, could you be patient? Or you, to lose a father and a husband too? Ye could? I cannot. Open door here, ho! Tell Lodowick, Lucibella would speak with him. I've news from heaven for him. He must not die. I robbed Prometheus of his moving fire. Open the door. I must come in and will. I'll beat myself to air, but I'll come in.
Alas, her tender hands smiting the stone between their mistress's rage in tears of blood.
Fair lady, be of comfort. 'Tis in vain to invocate the dead to life again.
Aye, gentle daughter, be content, I pray. Their fate is come, and ours is not far off.
Here is a hand over my fate hath power. I should sink under the stroke of death, but that pure spirit fills my breast and guides me from the footsteps of despair.
A heavenly motion full of charity. Yourself to kill yourself was such a sin as most divines hold deadly.
Aye, but a knave may kill one by a trick, or lay a plot, or sew, or cog, or prate, make strife, make a man's father hang him, or his brother. How think you, goodly prince? God give you joy of your adoption. May not such tricks be used?
Alas, poor lady.
Aye, that is true. I'm poor and yet have things, and gold rings, all amidst the leaves greener. Lord, how dear! Well, I thank God. Why, that's well. And you, my lord, and you too. Ne'er a one weep? Must I shed all the tears? Well, he is gone, and he dwelt here, said ye? Oh, I'll dwell with him. Death, dastard, devil, robber of my life, thou base adulterer that partest man and wife. Come, I defy thy darts.
Oh, sweet, forbear. For pity's sake, a while her rage restrain, lest she do violence upon herself.
Oh, never fear me. There is somewhat cries within me, no. Tells me there knaves abroad. Bids me be quiet. Lay me down and sleep. Good night, good gentlefolks. Brother, your hand, and yours, good father. You are my father now. Do but stand here. I'll run a little course at base or barley break, or some such toy, to catch the fellow, and come back again. Nay, look thee now. Let go, or by my troth, I'll tell Lodowick how you use his love. So now goodbye, now good night indeed. Lie further, Lodowick, take not all the room. Be not a churl, thy Lucibella doth come.
Follow her, brother. Follow son Mathias. Be careful, guardians of the troubled maid, while I confer with Princely Ferdinand about an embassy to Austria with true reports of these disastrous haps.
Well, I will be her guardian and her guide. By rue her senses have been weakened, but I'll contend with charitable pain to save her till they be restored again.
A virtuous resolution.
Worthy Prince Roderick, when tempestuous woe abates its violent storm, I shall have time to chide you for unkindness that have lived in solitary life from us so long. Believe me, Saxon Prince, you did us wrong.
Would I might never live in a worse state, for contemplation is the path to heaven. My new conversing in the world has proved luckless and full of sorrow. Fare ye well. My heaven alone, all company, seems hell.
My nephew, call for wine, my soul is dry. I'm sad at sight of so much misery.
Is the Duke's taster there?
I am at hand. With my office.
Fill for the Duke, good cousin. Taste it first.
I have no mind to it, Stilt, for all my antidote.
I warned you, master. Let Prince Otho drink next.
Here, cousin. Will you begin to my father?
I thank you kindly. I'll not be so bold. It is your office. Fill unto my lord.
Well, God be with it. It is gone now. I'll send the medicine after. Father, pray drink to my cousin, for he is so mannerly that he'll not drink before you.
Pray you do, my lord, for Prince Otho is best worthy of all this company to drink of that cup, which an he do, I hope he'll never drink more.
Good fortune, after all this sorrow. Saxony.
Oh, worthy Ferdinand, Fortune and I are parted. She has played the minion with me, turned all her favours into frowns, and in scorn robbed me of my hopes, and in 1 hour overturned me from the top of her proud wheel.
Build not on fortune, she's a fickle dame, but those who trust unto her sphere are fools. Bill for his excellence.
Here, cousin, for your excellence, pray drink you to the Duke of Saxony.
Not I, kind cousin. I list not to drink.
God's lady, I think, Stilt, we are all undone. I feel it jumbling, worse and worse.
Give the Duke some of the medicine.
What medicine talkest thou of? What ails my son?
Oh, Lord, Father, and you mean to live a man, take some of this.
Why, this is a deadly poison, unprepared.
True, but it was prepared for you and me by an excellent fellow, a French doctor.
Aye, he's one that had care of you.
Villain, what was he? Drink not, Saxony. I doubt I am by treason poisoned.
Heaven keep that fortune from my dread lord.
Treason, ye princes, treason to the life of Ferdinand the Duke of Prussia and my princely master Otto of Lüneburg.
Who should intend us treason?
This fond prince.
Never to you, father, but to my cousin Otto. Indeed, I meant to poison him, but I have peppered myself.
I never gave thee cause.
That's nothing to the purpose, but my lord took occasion by the counsel of the French doctor.
Physicians for the Duke, my uncle faints.
Surgeons for the prince, my master falls.
Call no physicians, for I feel too late. The subtle poison, mingling with my blood, numb all the passages, and nimble death fleets on his purple current to my heart.
Oh, father, I am dying too. Oh, now I depart. Be good to Stilt, my man, for he was accessory to all this.
I truly was I, sir. Therefore, I hope you will be good to me. I helped to mingle the poison as the French doctor and my master charged me.
What's that, French doctor?
What's become of him?
We left him in the court in my master's chamber.
Ay, woe worth him. Farewell, Stilt. Farewell, father. I ask your pardon with repentant eyes. False stars, oh, Stilt, for thus thy master dies.
Take hence that traitor and that fool his man.
I pray provide for me, sir.
Let him be tortured, there upon a wheel broke, like a traitor and a murderer.
Oh, Lord, sir, I meant you no hurt, but to Prince Otho.
Away, disturb us not with idle talk.
Provide, quotha, and you call this provide. Pray, let me provide for myself. Alas, my poor father, he'll creep upon crutches into his grave when he learns his proper stilt is cut off by the stumps.
Heads with that fellow!
Pray be not so hasty, you would scarce be so forward than you were going as I am to the gallows.
How cheers my royal uncle?
Like a ship that, having long contended with the waves, is at last with one proud billow smit down into the ruthless swallow of the sea. For thee, alas, I perceive this plot was laid, but heaven had greater mercy on thy youth and on my people, that shall find true rest, being with a prince so wise and virtuous blessed. Farewell, most noble John of Saxony, bear thy unmatched grief with a mind bent against the force of all temptations. By my example, princely brother, see how vain our lives and all our glories be.
God for thy mercy. Treason upon treason. How now, young Otto, what art thou poisoned too?
Oh, would God I were, but my sad stars reserved this simple building for extremer ruin. Oh, that French doctor!
Aye, that worst of hell. No torment shall content us in his death.
Nay, soft and fair, let him be taken first. How now, sad brother, are you come to see the tragic end of worthy Ferdinand?
I heard of it too soon, and came too late.
Well, brother, leave the Duke and wait on me. Mathias and the heart-grieved Lucibella shall go with us to Wittenberg and shun that fatal land filled with destruction.
But Lucibella, like a chastened hind, flies through the thickets and neglects the briars. After her runs your princely son, Mathias, as much disturbed, though not so much distract, vowing to follow her, and if he can, defend her from despairing actions.
And we will follow them. Prince Otto, adieu. Care goes with us, yet we have grief with you. And tell your uncle, punish traitors' crimes. Look to your person, these are dangerous times.
Lords, take this body, bear it to the court, and all the ways sound a sad, heavy march, which you may truly keep, a mournful march indeed, when kings are dead. Go on afore. I'll stay a while and weep my tributary tears paid on the ground where my true joy, your prince, my uncle, fell. I'll follow to drive from you all distress and comfort you, though I be comfortless. Art thou not plumped up with laughter, my Lorrique?
All this is excellent, but, my worthy lord, there is an accident this instant chanced, able to overthrow in one poor hour as well your hopes as these assurances.
What is that, Lorrique? What can fortune do that may divert my strain of policy?
You know that all Prussia takes you for the son of beauteous Martha, Duchess of Lüneburg?
Aye, they suppose me to be Otto, her son, and son to that false duke whom I will kill, or curse my stars.
His star is sunk already. Death and heaven have vowed an endless league of amity.
Had I Briareus's hands, I'd strive with for executing wrath before the hour, but wishes are in vain. He's gone.
Our son is somewhat slack, as we perceive by this delaying, while our heart is feared and our eyes dimmed with expectation. As are the lights, as such as on the beach, with many a longing, yet with littler proof, stand waiting the return of those they love.
His Excellence, no doubt, hath great affairs, but his familiar friend Lorrique is come.
Kneel not, Lorrique, I prithee, glad my heart with thy tongue's true report of my son Otto, whom, since his princely father is deceased, I'm come from Lüneburg oppressed with grief, in person to salute our new duke.
Your mother-like affection and high care his highness doth return with duteous thanks, desiring pardon of your excellence in that he did not first salute your grace, but dismal accidents and bloody deeds, poisonings, treasons, so disturb the state and grieve his gentle mind since the late death of your right princely brother Ferdinand, that, like the careful captain of a band, he is compelled to be the last in field. Yet he protests by me, and I for him, that no soft rest shall enter his grieved eyes till he behold your presence, more desired than the large empire of the wide earth. Only he prays that you would take your rest, for in your soft content his heart is blessed.
Spread me a carpet on this humble earth. My hand shall be the pillow to my head, this step my bolster, and this place my bed.
Your highness will take harm.
Nay, never fear. A heart filled with sorrow sleeps anywhere. Will our son come tonight?
Madam, he will.
See our train lodged then. Lorrique, attend for captain of the guard that wait on us. Go all away, nobody stay with me, except our son come, or we chance to call. Trouble us not. Good night to you all. Quo fugiat mortale genus, nil denique totum est. Crudelis nam lemors omnia valque secat, nil durum nil nor mortis penetrabile telis, omnia videmit mors violenta sua. 'Tis true, the wise, the fool, the rich, the poor, the fair and the deformed fall, their life turns air. The king and the captain are in this alike. None hath freehold of life, but they are still, when death, heaven's steward, comes, tenants at his will. I lay me down and rest in thee, my trust. If I wake never more, till all flesh rise, I would sleep a happy sleep. Sin in me dies.
Art sure she is asleep?
I cannot tell. Be not too hasty.
She stirs not, she's fast. Sleep sweet, fair Duchess, for thou sleepst thy last. Endymion's love, muffle in clouds thy face, and all ye yellow tapers of the heavens veil your clear brightness in Cimmerian mists. Let not one light my black deed beautify, for with one stroke virtue and honour dies. And yet we must not kill her in this kind. Weapons draw blood. Blood shed will plainly prove the worthy Duchess, worthless of her death, was murdered. And the guards are witnesses, none entered but ourselves.
Then strangle her. Here's a towel, sir.
Good. Kneel and help. Compass her neck about. Alas, poor lady, thou sleepst here secure, and never dreamst of what thou shalt endure.
Nay, good my lord, dispatch.
What, ruthless hind, shall I wrong nature that did ne'er compose one of her sex so perfect? Prithee, stay. Suppose we kill her thus, about her neck, circles of purple blood will change the hue of this white porphyry, and the red lines mixed with a deadly black will tell the world she died by violence. Then 'twill be inquired, and we held ever hateful for the act.
Then place beneath her nostrils this small box containing such powder as hath power, being set on fire, to suffocate each sense without the sight of wound or show of wrong.
That's excellent. Fetch fire. Or do not. Stay. The candle shall suffice, yet that burns dim and drops its waxen tears as if mourned to be an agent in a deed so dark.
Will you confound yourself by dotage? Speak. Soon I'll confound her and she linger thus.
Her word is good and better. Note my words, even unto the top of some dreadful scar, and thence fall headlong on the under rocks, or set thy breast against a cannon fired, when iron death flies thence on flaming wings, or with thy shoulders Atlas-like attempt to bear the ruins of a falling tower, or swim the ocean, or run quick to hell, as dead assure thyself no better place than once look frowning on this angel's face. Confound her! Black confusion be my grave. Whisper one word more, thou diest, base slave.
I've done. I'll honour her if you command.
She stirs, and when she wakes, observe me well. Soothe up whate'er I say touching Prince Otto.
Prince Otto, is our son come? Who's there, Lorrique?
What shall I answer?
Who's that thou talk'st with?
The most indebted servant to your grace of any creature underneath the moon.
I prithee, friend, be brief. What's thy name? I know thee not. What business hast thou here? Art thou a messenger come from our son? If so, acquaint us with the news thou bringest.
I saw your highness's son. Lorrique here knows the last of any living.
Living? Heaven help me, I trust my son hath no commerce with death.
Your son, no doubt, is well in blessed state.
My heart is smitten through thy answer. Lorrique, where is thy gracious lord?
In heaven, I hope.
True, madam, he did perish in the wreck when he first came by sea from Lubeck haven.
What false impostor then hath mocked my care, abused my princely brother Ferdinand, gotten his dukedom in my dead son's name?
I grant him an impostor, therein false. But when your highness hears the circumstance, I know your wisdom and meek piety will judge him well deserving in your eyes.
What can be said now I have lost my son? Or how can this base-tongued hypocrite excuse concealing of his master's death? Unhappy Martha, in thine age undone, robbed of a brother, cheated of a son?
Hear me with patience. For that pity's sake you showed my captive body, by the tears you shed when my poor father, dragged to death, endured all violence at their tyrant hands. By all your mercies poured on him and me, that like cool rain somewhat allayed the heat of our sad torments and red sufferings. Hear me but speak, a little to repay with gratitude the favours I received.
Art thou the luckless son of that sad man, the Lord of Bornholm, sometime admiral?
I am his only son, whom you set free. Therefore submissively I kneel and crave you would with patience hear your servant speak.
Be brief, my swollen heart is at point to break.
I stood upon the top of the high scar, when I beheld the splitted ship let in devouring ruin in the shape of waves. Some got on rafts, but were as soon cast off as they were seated. Many strode the mast, but the sea's working was so violent that nothing could preserve them from their fury. They died, and were entombed in the deep, except some two the surges washed ashore. Prince Otto being one, who on Lorrique's back hung with clasped hands that never could unfold.
Why, as well as Lorrique doth he not live? And how had he clasped upon his back except he had life to hold his hands?
Madam, your highness errs in that conceit, for men that die by drowning in their death hold surely what they clasp while they have breath.
Full well he held me, and he sunk me too.
I'll witness when I had recovered him, the prince's head being split against a rock, past all recover. Lorrique, in desperate rage, sought sundry means to spoil his new-gained life, exclaiming for his master, cursing heaven for being unjust to you, though not to him, for robbing you of comfort in your son. Oh, gracious lady, said this grieved man, could I but work a means to calm her grief, some reasonable course to keep black care from her white bosom, I were happy then. But knowing this, her heart will sink with woe, and I am ranked with miserablest of men.
Aye, God's my witness, these were my laments, till Hoffman, being as willing as myself, did, for his love for you that pitied him, take on him to be called by your son's name, which now he must refuse, except your grace accept his service in Prince Otto's place.
If that you protest be true, your care was like a long reprieve. The date worn out, the execution of my woe is come, and I must suffer it with patience. Where have you laid the body of my son?
Within the chapel of the hermitage, some half-mile hence.
I'll build me there a cell, made like a tomb, till death therein I'll dwell. Yet for thy wrongs, young man, attend my words. Since neither Ferdinand nor Saxony have any heirs to sway their several states, I'll work what lies in me, To make thee duke. And since you are accepted for my son, attempting it only to do me good, I here adopt thee mine, christen thee Otto. Mine eyes are now the font, the water, the tears that do baptize thee in thy borrowed name.
I thank your highness, and of just heaven crave the ground I wrong you in may turn my grave.
Lights to our chamber, now our fears are past. What we long doubted is proved true at last. Attend us, son.
Will wait upon your grace. Son, this is somewhat, this will blear the eyes of the rude vulgar, but this serves not me. Dukedoms I will have, them my sword shall win, if any interpose across my will. But, new-made mother, there's another fire burns in this liver, lust and hot desire, which you must quench. Must? Aye, and shall. I know women will like, however they say no. And since my heart is knit unto her eyes, if she, being sanctimonious, hate my suit, in love, this course I'll take if she deny. Force her. True. So. Si non blanditus. V.
Have you not found her yet?
Not I.
Nor I.
Then I believe, borne by her fits of rage, she has done violence to her bright frame and fallen upon the bosom of the vault.
What reason leads you to believe it, son?
I did perceive her some half hour since clambering upon the steepness of the rock, but whether up or down I could not guess by the reason of the distance.
Stand aside, she comes. Let her not scape us now.
What, has she got apparel? Aye, and rich. Poor soul, she and her idle lunacy hath took it from some house where 'twill be missed.
Let's circle her about, lest spying us should run away with wanted nimbleness. Fairest, well met.
Well overtaken, sir.
What have you here?
And you too, heartily.
I'm sure you know me.
Why, that's well. I like that. That you are well, and you, and you. Goodbye.
Nay, nay, you must not go. We'll hold you now.
Why, that's well done. Pray, come and see my house. I have a fine house now, and goodly knacks and gay apparel. Look here, this is brave. And 2 lean porters, starved for lack of meat. Pray, let go my arms. Here they be.
Ah, horrid sight.
Nay, never start, I pray. Is it not like I keep a princely house when I have such fat porters at my gate?
What should this mean? Why in this wood, so thick, so solitary and remote from common road of men, should these hang thus? Brother, your hermitage is not far hence. When knew you any execution here?
I ne'er knew any. And these bones are green. This less anatomy hath not hung long. The bigger, by the moss and dryness, seems of more continuance.
What's on their heads?
Why, golden crowns. My porters shall be kings, and hide their bare bones with these gay weeds.
I do remember that Admiral Hoffman that kept the island of Bornholm was by the Duke of Prussia adjudged to have his head seared with a burning crown, and after made a bare anatomy which by his son was from the gallows stolen.
Aye, that same son of his. But where lives he?
No doubt he doth possess some cave hard by.
Come, go with me. I'll show you where he dwells. Or somebody. I know not who it is. Here, look here. Here is the way goes down, 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 down. Hey, down, down. I sung that song while Lodowick slept with me.
This is some cave. Let's boldly enter in and learn the mystery of that sad sight. Come, lady, guide us in. You know the way.
True, that's the way. You cannot miss the path. The way to death and black destruction is the wide way. Nobody's now at home, or tarry. Peradventure here comes some, will tell you more.
Stand close, this is Lorrique. I do not know the lady that comes with him.
I have seen that countenance.
Stand close, I pray. My heart divines some strange and horrid act will be revealed.
Nay, that's most true. A fellow with a red cap told me so, and bade me keep these clothes and give them to a fair lady in a mourning gown. Let go my arms, I will not run away. I thank you. Now you shall see me stay. By my troth I will, by my maidenhead I will.
Lorrique, return into the beaten path. I asked thee for a solitary plot, and thou hast brought me to the dismalest grove that ever I beheld. No wood nymphs here seek with their agile steps to outstrip the roe, nor doth the sun suck from these screechy plot the rankness and the venom of the earth. It seems frequentless for the use of men, some basilisks or poisonous serpents' den.
It is indeed an undelightful walk, but if I do not err in my belief, I think the ground, the trees, the rocks, the springs have, since my princely master Otho's wreck, appeared more dismal than they did before, in memory of his untimeless fall. For hereabouts the place where his fair body lay deformed by death. Here Hoffman's son and I embalmed him after we had concluded to deceive your sacred person and Duke Ferdinand by causing Hoffman to assume his name.
This is very strange.
Nay, tarry, you shall hear all the knavery anon.
But where's the chapel that you laid him in?
'Tis an old chapel near the hermitage.
But was the hermit at his burial?
No, Hoffman and I only digged the grave, playing priest and clerk to keep his burial close.
Most admirable.
Nay, pray you peace.
Alas, poor son, the soul of my delights, thou in thy end wert robbed of funeral rites. None sung thy requiem, no friend closed thy eyes, nor laid the hallowed earth upon thy lips. Thou wert not houselled, neither did the bells ring blessed peals, nor did thy funeral knell. Thou went to death as those that sink to hell. Where's the apparel that I bade him wore against the force of witches and their spells?
We buried it with him. It was his shroud. The desert woods no fitter means allowed.
I think he lies. Now, by my troth, that gentleman smells knave.
Swear one thing to me ere we leave this place, whether young Hoffman did the most he might to save my son.
By heaven, it seems he did, but all was vain. The flinty rocks had cut his tender skull, and the rough water washed away his brain.
Liar, liar, lickdish.
How now? What woman is this? What men are these?
A poor maiden mistress has a suit to you, and 'tis a good suit, very good apparel. Lo, here I come, a-wooing my ding-dong. Lo, here we come, a-suing my darling. Lo, here I come, a-praying so bider. How do you, lady? Well, I thank God. Will you buy a bargain? 'Tis fine apparel.
Run, my life blood, comfort my troubled heart that trembles at the sight of this attire. Lorrique, look on them. Knowest thou not these clothes, nor the distracted bringer? Prithee speak.
Ay me, accursed and damned, I know them both. The bringer is the Austrian Lucibella.
Aye, you say true. I am the very same.
The apparel was my lord's, your princely son's.
This is not sea wet. If my son were drowned, then why thus dry his apparel thus found?
Oh, me accursed, miserable me, fall heaven and hide my shape. Gape, earth, rise, sea, swallow, overwhelm me, wherefore should I live, the most perfidious wretch that ever breathed, and base consenter to my dear lord's death?
Nay, look you here. These see these poor starved ghosts? Can you tell me whose they be?
Alas, what are they? What are you that seem in civil habits to hide ruthless hearts? Lorrique, what are they? What wilt thou attempt? Help, gentlemen, if you be gentlemen, and stay this fellow from despairing ill.
I was ordained unto perdition, stay me not. For when ye know the mischiefs I have done, at least consented to through coward fear, you would not stop me, if I skipped in quick to that black, bottomless and ruthless gulf, where everlasting sorrow the linked chains fetters the wretch in eternal night.
What hast thou done?
Knavery, I warrant you. Tell truth and shame the devil, my boy. Do, and thou shalt have a fine thing by and by.
I take your highness for that reverend Duchess, late wife unto the Duke of Lüneburg.
I am that wretched childless widow, sir.
Princes, hear me, and I will briefly tell how you came childless, you brotherless, you husbandless and fatherless, all, I'll tell you, having ended my fall.
Well, forward.
Be it so. I have deserved the greatest cruelty to be kept living when I long to die.
I charge thee, setting by all circumstance to utter what thou knowest, my heart is steel, nor it can't suffer more than it doth feel.
Then thus, Prince Otho and I scaped the wreck, came safe ashore to this accursed plot, where we met Hoffman, who upon yon tree preserved his father's bare anatomy. The biggest of the two were those strong bones that acted mighty deeds. Hoffman, the son, full of revenge and hate, against every hand that wrought his father's hurt, yet gilded o'er his envy with fair shows, and entertained us with his friendly terms, as falsehood could invent, and 'tis well known, bitter deceit useth the sweetest speech. At length he took advantage, bound my lord, and in a chain tied him to yonder rock, while with a burning crown he seared in twain the purple veins, strong sinews, arteries, nerves, and every cartilage about the head, in which sad torment the mild prince fell dead.
Did Hoffman this, and thou conceal'st the deed?
Pardon my fear, dread madam.
Well, go on. I am competent to hear all cruelty, and am resolved to act some, if no hand but mine will else attempt the murderer's end.
Be patient, you will find associates, for there are many murders more behind.
What did he with the body of my son?
Buried the flesh, the bones are they that hang close by his father's.
Let them hang a while. Hope of revenge in wrath doth make me smile.
Pray, let him tell the rest.
This acted Hoffman forced me to conceal the murder of my lord, and threatened more than death, too many torments, till I swore to call him Otho, and say he was your son. I swore and kept my oath.
Oh, heaven!
Nay, pray you peace.
Then sent he me for you, and you he sent, or as I best remember, led you on unto the chapel porch, where he himself appointed them to stay, and there you know what happened in your wrath.
To me asleep, and to my hapless Lodowick in my arms.
On, that deed is written amongst the acts of guilt, brother's sword, brother's lifeblood spilt.
Proceed, what's next? Could he not Austria?
He did.
Oh, villain! Did he kill my father? And make my brother kill my husband too?
Go forward.
After all these hated murders, he taught the foolish prince, in the disguise of a French doctor, to prepare a poison, which was the death of Princey Ferdinand. Next plot he purposed your grace's death, and had I not opposed my strength of tears, you had been murdered as you lay asleep.
Let's hear no more. Seek out the hated wretch, and with due torture let his life be forced from his despised body.
Do, I pray, all the whole land will help, and each man be a justice in this act.
Well, I, that never knew revenge's power, have entertained her newly in my breast. Determine what's to do.
E'en what you will. Would I were with Lodowick asleep in the Elysian fields, where no fears dwell, for earth appears as vile to me as hell.
Let me be prologue to your scene of wrath, and as the Roman Catiline resolved his doubtful followers by exhausting blood from a live body, so draw mine, cast mine upon the troubled and offended earth, offer blood fit for an infernal sacrifice. Wine is not poured but on celestial offerings. Therefore I advise you, as you hope to thrive in your revenge, smite me that have been pander to this injury.
Thou merit death indeed.
Stay, judge him not. Let me a little plead in his excuse, and this one sentence serves. A man compelled to evil acts cannot be justly held a wilful malefactor. The law still looks on the deed and never on the will. Besides, although I grant the matter small and very safe to raise a multitude that by their power might seize the murderer, yet two special reasons cross that course. First, many having notice of our plot, one babbling tongue may utter our intent, and Hoffman, being armed, is surely warned, having the fort and treasure in his power, and be his course more than notorious. Still he may with gold maintain it at his will. Besides, and escape us, for no doubt he's full of slights. Besides, revenge should have proportion. By sly deceit he acted every wrong, and by deceit I would have him entrapped. Then the revenge were full, fit, just, and square, and 'twould more vex him that is all composed, but craft and subtlety to be outstripped in his own fashion than 100 deaths. Therefore, by my advice, pardon Lorrique, upon condition that he lay some plot to intercept the other.
We're agreed.
Agreed.
Your mercy doth all bounds of hope exceed, and if you will repose that trust in me, by all the protestations truth can make, before the sun hath run his midday's course, I will tomorrow yield him to your hands.
Show us the means.
The means are in the Duchess' policy, if she can smooth the murder but a little.
I'll turn deceit to overthrow this fraud.
Then with fair words his flatteries entertain, and when he doth importune you for love, desire him then to show you the first place where he beheld Prince Otto after the rock. Say, you have earnestly entreated me, but I have led you in a labyrinth to no effect. He, full of heat and lust, glad of occasion, will no doubt alone conduct you to this fatal horrid cave, thinking by force or fair means to attain his false heart's longing and your honour's stain, but being in the height of his base pride, the Duke, the Hermit, Mathias, and myself will change his pleasures into wretched and remorseless misery.
The plot is good. Madam, are you agreed?
To anything, however desperate.
Aye, but by your leave, lady, and lords all, what if this knave that hath been play the knave still, and tell tales out of school? How then?
I know not what to swear by, but no soul longs for the sight of endless happiness with more desire than mine thirsts for his death. By all those gods that shall give ill men life, I am resolved chief agent in this end.
We credit thee. Join hands and ring him round. Kneel on his head, lay your right hands, and swear vengeance against Hoffman.
Vengeance!
Vengeance fall on him.
Fall
or
on
sudden
him,
death
or
upon us
sudden
all.
death upon us all.
Come, part we to the cave, you to the court. Justice digs murder's grave.
Nay, I will come. My wits are mine again. Now faith grows firm to punish faithless men.
Not to be found. Hell, which way is she gone?
Her Highness charged us to call you her son. The mystery we know not, but we know you are not Prince Otto of Lüneburg.
No matter who I am, tell me the way she went with that Lorrique. Speak, or by heaven hell shall receive you all.
Be not enraged, here she comes, and with her comes trusty Lorrique.
Madam, I feared for you. My heart was sick with doubt. Some over-desperate accident had drawn you to the melancholy paths that lie within the verge of this rough scar.
Your doubt was but an embryo. I indeed desired Lorrique to bring me to the place where you beheld the shipwreck of my son, and he had led me up and down the wood, but never brought me to the fatal beach.
It were not fit you should see the fatal place that still seems dismal since the prince's death.
Dead? Is our sovereign lord the prince dead?
Inquire no more of that. I will anon resolve you of his fate. This time forbear. Esteem this gentleman your lord and prince.
We hold him so, sith you command us so.
Will you go forward, madam?
Willingly, so you will promise me to walk tomorrow and see the earth that gently did receive my son's wrecked body from the churlish foam.
I'll wait upon your grace. Set forward there. Tricks and devices, longings, well, 'tis good. I'll swim to my desires through seas of blood.
Fox, you'll be taken. Hunter, you are fallen into the pit you digged. I laugh to see how I outstrip the prince of villainy. Hoffman, for me, told such a soothing tale that had not this strange accident befallen in the finding of the cave, I had been held more dear than ever in the Duchess' eyes. That now she'll hold me hard, whate'er she say. Yet is her word passed that she'll pardon me. And I've wealth hoarded up, which I will bear to some strange place. Rich men live anywhere.
What are you gadding, sir? What moves your flight? Coy not excuses in your crouching. Come, what cause have you to fly and seek strange lands for your wealth gotten by my liberal gift?
And my desert, my lord.
Well, be it your desert, but what's the cause you'll fly this country?
As I live, my lord, I have no such intendments, but with your leave, I was debating things as, if it should chance thus and thus, why then, 'twere better to be far off, but otherwise my love and life low at your service lie.
You are a villain, damned as low as hell, a hypocrite, a fawning hypocrite. I know thy heart. Come, spaniel, up, arise, and think not with your antics and your lies to go beyond me. You have played the slave, betrayed me to the Duchess, told her all, disappointing all my hopes with your base tongue. O'erturn the height of my intendments, for which I hurl thee from my mountain rack into the lowest cavern of pale death.
Alas, my lord, forbear, let me be heard.
Thou hast betrayed me, therefore never talk.
By heaven!
No, hell! Why shouldst thou think on heaven?
Stay, and believe me, think you I am mad? So great a foe to my own happy chance, when things are sorted to so good an end that all is hid, and we held in regard after such horrid and perfidious acts, nor to betray myself be reasonable, and think how shallow such an act would seem in me, chief agent in so many ills.
Thou hast a tongue as glib and smooth to lie, as full of false inventions and base fraud, as prone to circumvent believing souls as ever heretic or traitor used, whose speeches are as honey, their acts as gall, their words raise up, but their hands ruin all.
By virtue's glorious soul!
Blasphemer! Peace! Swear not by that thou hatest. Virtue and thou have no more sympathy than day with night, heaven with hell. Thou know'st I know thy villainies excel.
Why then, by villainy, by blood, by slights, by all the horrors torture can present, by hell and by revenge's purple hand, the Duchess had no conference with me, but only a desire to see the place that first received her son, whom she believes the unrelenting waves and flinty rocks had severed from sweet life after the wreck.
May I believe thee?
Have I failed you yet? Measure my former acts, and you shall find my soul allied to yours, wholly estranged from all I ever loved.
No more, have done. Thou'st won me to continue thee my friend, but I can tell thee somewhat troubles me, some dreadful misadventure my soul doubts, and I conceive it with no common thought, but a most potent apprehension, for it confounds imaginary sense, sometimes inflames my blood, another while numbs all the currents that should comfort life, and I remain, as 'twere, a senseless stone.
Come, I know the cause. You are in love, and to be so is to be anything. Do you not love the Duchess?
Yes, I do.
Why, there's the matter then. Be ruled by me. Tomorrow morning she desires to see the shore that first received her shipwrecked son, and to be unaccompanied she loves, except some one or two, as you and I. Now, when you have her near your dismal cave, force her. Aye, do it, man. Make no scruple, do't, else, or you shall never win her to your bed. Do a man's part. Please her before she go, or if you see that she turns violent, shut her perpetual prison in that den. Make her a Philomel. Prove terrace. Do't never fearers.
Why, she will be missed.
By whom? By fools, gross, dull, thick-sighted fools whom every mist can blind. I'll sway them all with exclamation that the grieved Duchess, when she beheld the sea that drowned her son, stood for a while like weeping Niobe, as if she had been stone, and when we strived with mild persuasion to make less her woe, she, madder than the wife of Athermance, leaped suddenly into the troubled sea, whose surges greedy of so rich a prey swallowed her up, while we in vain exclaimed gainst heaven and hell, gainst fortune and her fate.
Oh, my good villain, how I hug thy plots. This shall be done. She's mine. Run, swift, slow hours, make a short night, hasten on day apace. Rough arms, wax soft, soft beauty to embrace.
Why so? Now your fear will quickly end.
Thou wilt not talk of this.
Oh, will I be hanged? Dare take me for a blab, you'll find me none.
I have another secret, but...
Come, what is't? Come, this breast is yours, my heart's your treasury.
Thou must be secret. 'Tis a thing of weight, concerns thee near.
Were it as near as life come, pray you speak.
Hark, in thine ear. Be privy to this purpose, wilt thou swear?
What, be secret? If the least jot I tell, let all my hopes sink suddenly to hell.
Thou hast thy wish. Down, villain! Keep this close!
Unthankful murderer! Is this my meed? Oh, slave, thou kill'st my heart in wounding mine. This is thy day. Tomorrow shall be mine.
Go, fool. Now thou art dead, I need not fear. Yet as thou wert my servant, just and true, I'll hide thee in the ditch. Give dogs their due. He that will prove a mercenary slave to murder seldom finds so good a grave. He's gone. I now can spare him. Lorrique, farewell. Commend me to our friends thou meet'st in hell. Next plot for Mathias and old Saxony. Their ends shall finish our black tragedy.
How little care had we to let her escape, especially in this so needful time, when we are vowed to wait upon revenge.
No doubt my uncle's care will keep her safe, nor is she in her fit so violent as she was wont. Look where my uncle comes, sustaining with one hand the dying man, and on the other side fair Lucibella supports the fainting body.
Look you here, you marvelled why I went. Why, this man drew me unto him. Can you help him now? Hoffman has hoffed him too.
Brother, who is't you bring thus ash pale? Is it not Lorrique?
I am, and 'tis in vain to strive for longer hope. I cannot only be provident. I greatly fear this traitorous, murderous traitor, out of mere suspect, will plot some stratagem against the life of the chaste Duchess. Help her what you can against the violence of that wicked man.
Hast thou not told him what we do intend?
No, as heaven help me in my wretched end. Be confident of that. Now, I must fall, never again to rise. You know your wrongs. Be careful, princes, to revenge them all.
Well, farewell, fellow. Thou art now paid home for all thy counselling in knavery. Good Lord, what very fools are very knaves! Their cunning bodies often want due graves.
Son, daughter, brother, follow my advice. Let us no longer keep this hateful plot, lest we be circumvented.
True, 'tis to put out open arms.
'Tis now too late. We're beset with soldiers. We must fight, since it must be. Let us draw our swords and do it valiantly.
Princes, prepare not to resist your foes. We are firm as life unto your blood. The Duchess Martha greets old Saxony, Prince Mathias, Roderick, and fair Lucibella. To me she hath discovered the damned plots of that perfidious Hoffman, and hath sent these armed soldiers to attend on you.
We thank her highness, but we think in vain both you and we attend. Lorrique lies slain by Hoffman's sly suspicion. Best be joined to apprehend him publicly.
There is no need. Our Duchess hath apparelled her speech in a green livery. She salutes him fair, but her heart, like his actions, is attired in red and blue and sable ornaments.
But tell us where they are.
At hand, she comes with him alone. The plot is, she comes in happy time for all your good.
Cease words, use deeds, revenge draws nigh.
Come, set his body like a scarecrow. This bush shroud you, this you. Stand close, true soldiers, for revenge.
I wonder much why you ask me for Lorrique. What is Lorrique to you, or what to me? I tell you he is damned. Inquire no more. His name to me is hatefuler than death.
Oh, heaven, what alteration is this? Can I believe you love me, as you swore, when you are so inconstant to your friend?
He is no friend of mine whom you affect. Pardon me, madam, such a fury reigns over my boiling blood that I envy any on whom you cast an amorous eye.
What, grown so loving? Marry, heaven defend. We shall deceive you if you dote on us, for I have sworn to lead a widow's life, and never more be termed a married wife.
Aye, but you must.
Must! Use not force, I pray.
Yield to my love, and then with meekest words and the most humble actions I'll entreat your sacred beauty. Deny me, I will turn fire, more wild than wrath. Come then, agree, if not to marry, yet in unseen sports to quench these lawless heats that burn in me.
What? My adopted son become my lover, and make a wanton minion of his mother? Now, fie upon you, fie! You're too obscene, if like your words your thoughts appear unclean.
By heaven, I do not jest. Go to, believe me. 'Tis well you laugh. Smile on, I like this. Say, will you yield?
At the first, fie no. That were an abject course. But let us walk into some covert, where are pretty caves, lucky to lovers' suits. For Virgil sings that Dido, being driven by a sharp storm into a Libyan cave, was there enticed by silver-tongued Aeneas to effect. And should you serve me so, I were undone, disgraced in Germany by every boor who in their rhymes would jest at Martha's name, calling her a minion to her cousining son.
Fairer than Dido or love's amorous queen, I know a cave where in the bright day's eyes look never but askance through a small crack or little cranny of the fretted scar. There have I sometime lived. There are fit seats to sit and chat and call and kiss and steal love's hidden pleasures. Come, are you disposed to venture entrance? If you be, essay. 'Tis death to quick desire to use delay.
Virtue and modesty bid me say no, and trust me, Hoffman, thou art so sweet a man and so beloved of me that I must go.
I am crowned the king of pleasure.
Slave, thou goest to meet destruction in thy cave.
Death, who stands here? I am amazed. Nay, slave, stand off.
Thy weapon is sure? The prize is ours. Come forth, dear friends, the murderer's in our powers.
Yield thee, base son of shame.
How now? What's here? Am I betrayed by dotage, by the falsehood of a face? Oh, wretched fool, fallen by a woman's hand from high revenge's sphere, the bliss of souls.
Cut out the murderer's tongue.
What do you mean? Whom have I murdered? Wherefore bind you me?
They are justices to bring thy foul crimes. Look with thy bloody eyes on these bare bones, and tell me which dead Lorrique confessed. Who's that, thou villain? That last? Who wast?
Why, Otto, thy son, and that's my father by him.
Oh, merciless and cruel murderer, to leave me childless.
And me husbandless.
Me brotherless, O smooth-tongued hypocrite, how didst thou draw me to my brother's death?
Talk no more to him. He seeks dignity. Reason he should receive his desperate hire, and wear his crown made flaming hot with fire. Bring forth the burning crown there.
Do, old dog. Thou helpst to worry my dead father, and must thou kill me too? 'Tis well, 'tis fit. I, who had sworn unto my father's soul to be revenged on Austria, Saxony, Prussia, Lüneburg, on all their heirs, had prospered in the downfall of some 5, had only 3 to offer to the fiends, and then must fall in love. Oh, wretched eyes that have betrayed my heart, be you accursed. And as the melting drops run from my brows, so fall they on the strings that guide my heart, whereby their oily heat may crack them first. Aye, so. Boil on, thou foolish, idle brain, for giving entertainment to love's thoughts. A man resolved in blood, bound by a vow for no less vengeance than his father's death, yet become amorous of his foe's wife. Oh, sin against all conceit, worthy this shame and all the tortures that the world can name.
Call upon heaven, base wretch, think on thy soul.
In charity and prayer, to no purpose without charity.
We pardon thee, and pray for thy soul's health.
So do not I for yours, nor pardon you. You killed my father, my most warlike father. Thus as you deal by me, you did by him. But I deserve it that have slacked revenge through fickle beauty and a woman's fraud. But hell, the hope of all despairing men that wring the poor and eat the people up as greedy beasts the harvest of their spring, that hell where cowards have their seats prepared and barbarous asses such as have robbed soldiers of reward, and punish true desert with scorned death.
And they all lived happily ever after. Yes, there the text ends. There probably is supposed to be a bit more, not necessarily more from Hoffman. I think, considering having his head seared off at this point, that he probably hasn't got much more, but he's still managed quite a lot. I mean, it's slightly undetermined precisely what point the crown could go on, but yes, there's. And there might be more, but I think that's actually an excellent place to end it. I just love that, by accident more than by design. That's where we end up. So we've come to the end of a long run. Actually, much shorter run than I was really quite fearful when we started. Just going, oh God, are we going to manage to do this in time? Because we've only technically overrun by 7 minutes from our normal running time. So we've got some time for final thoughts on the room, or just thoughts about this. I think most of the issues that we had with the text the first time round, some of the sort of awkward plotting stuff in the first half, where you've got sort of subplots and things that are there to set up a bit of action later on, but which are not inherently satisfying in of themselves. Like the random scene where somebody goes, "Oh, you look a bit like my brother." Oh my God, you are! Which actually goes nowhere. It sets up another bit of a plot, but it doesn't actually go anywhere internally in the rest of the play. And it's sort of just that bit needs tidying. And some of the stuff with Stilt and Jerome and some of the early stuff on that feels a bit excessive. But the rest of it is excessive in a good way, I feel. Though excessive in the sense of there are 2 really massive parts. Which, hadn't really quite appreciated how massive that was. I wasn't supposed to be reading Lorrique. I had to swap with Sarah. I had to nip out early. Thoughts in the room, Alan?
Yeah, I must admit, I think I would want to keep the Stilt sections in, because at least it does give a little bit of light relief, particularly with his propensity for malapropisms.
Well, yeah, I know. I love the way he dies and all of that stuff. It's just that first scene when he appears is very referential to stuff from the period. They're constantly quoting book titles and things, which we get because we've read some of them, but that nobody in an audience might, and it's a tricky scene to pass. But you need to have that scene to set it up. So it's a matter of how much you make it work through rehearsal and how much you work with just some clever trims. Other thoughts? Eric?
It does seem fitting that Hoffman gets the final word. It's like he's trying to outrun them, and then he eventually doesn't, but then he kind of manages to, because everyone else shuts up when he dies, basically. I don't know. It's kind of fitting because it bookends the play really nicely. He starts it, he ends it.
Yeah, and it'd be nothing more tedious than having, the Duchess suddenly delivering a moralising speech at the end. I don't care. I actually, with that last line, and punish true desert with scorn and death, I just feel he just needs to pull a grenade out at that point and just go, boom, everybody dies. I'm on an everybody dies kick this week, so you can, don't worry about that. Other thoughts in the room? Anyone else? Alex, you weren't here for the first time round, were you?
No, I wasn't, and I tried to sort of read as little of it beforehand as possible, because I like being taken by surprise by stuff in the moment, and I loved it. It's an absolute license for scenery chewing for most of the cast at one point or another. The family tree at the beginning was slightly confusing, but once you're kind of over the sort of bump of the first couple of scenes, it does become remarkably clear. It reminded me of nothing so much as a sort of like Brazilian telenovela in all its glorious excess, and I don't think you'd want to mitigate any of that. I think there are cuts you could do to it to sort of speed it along its way. Particularly that I do like Stilt and Old Stilt and Jerome, but yeah, maybe you could whack out some bits of those, and I think a lot of the longer speeches could stand to be part here or there, and then we get a lot of explanation from Lorrique at the end of things we've seen as an audience that maybe could be tied.
Yeah, we had a debate about that last time, and I doing it, I was sort of going, oh, well, you kind of need to do all of this, but do we have to do all? Is there a way of just going skip to the end? In that, but there was a reason why we sort of turned back towards it, and I can't remember what it was, but at pace, I definitely felt I was boring you all.
No, I think there's something nice in the wallowing of it. Like, it's a play that you have to wallow in, I think, but there's no, it is not at home to Mr. and Mrs. Subtlety, nor should it be. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's gloriously gory
and of course, what anyone watching this video, or listening to it won't have got is, of course, there's skeletons everywhere, and there's all this visual business, and there's quite a lot of trumpery and people wandering on and off going on. So there's actually quite a bit more actual visual stuff going on that certainly would probably make that opening scene a little more cogent as well as to who he's talking about, because he's got a prop to refer to, and that helps in a way that this version doesn't necessarily do. Other thoughts in the room, Eric?
Yeah, I kind of like that scene with Jerome, and that first scene with Jerome and Stilt, where he's kind of building up to something. It just like, he's kind of getting ready for the tilt as well. It feels a bit like excessive. Like, it felt excessive doing it because we didn't have any props or stuff. Like, but you kind of get the impression that, it's that thing, that it's going to be very physical, a lot of fun to actually do. But I don't know how it would work on Zoom. It's just sort of very, I don't know. It is a fun scene to do, just because Jerome is basically going, yes, and I am so great, I am a prince, and Stilt is going, yeah, right.
There's something about that setup there actually, which we could definitely get clearer in a full production, and that sense that he's preparing to be all terribly knightly and honourable, and everyone's just going, yeah, whatever. There's a real whatever vibe to the whole Jerome plot from everybody else. Dan.
Oh.
You unmuted yourself, so I assumed you wanted to speak.
I don't know. I like Chettle's sense of the dramatic. That's all. I think that he has a lot of fun with this. I really like the comic aspects that he inserted into otherwise a very dark drama. And I think that it does suffer doing a Zoom reading, not being able to see everything that's being done there. I do think it was doing it at pace, really pushing it, I thought really helped out with this as well, doing it over reading, because it's not the kind of text, whilst I think it's great if you can actually dwell it on a stage, we really got to hear how I guess the relationships and how the scenes that really do work when you're zipping through the text. For that reason, I think it's a very good exercise to do on Zoom.
And the pace. I mean, the pace aspect. It's that thing when we're talking about cutting it. We're at this point where we cut the play so that we can slow some bits down in a production, and it will still be about the same length. And that's sort of the exercise. We it was over 2 hours, but and if you're doing this live at that pace, I think constantly at that pace would be excessive. But then also, I would also say a lot of the time, do not linger on this, because if you start if everybody chews the scenery all of the time and everyone lingers on those moments, it's a real question, and actually also when playing with an audience, as to how far you push the comedy and how far you pull back on it, and where that balance comes, because it is a very funny play and it's a very over the top play, but it is also a dark and at times very serious. So it's playing with that and getting the balance right. And I'm sure actually it's the kind of play which different nights will perform differently in quite extreme ways. Actually, it will veer around a bit. Alan,
I don't think in the intro you mentioned the date from which this falls.
I didn't really mention anything in the intro. It'll be somewhere around 1600 and something. I don't know. I can find out. I'm sure Dan probably knows.
A payment was made in December.
Say again, Dan?
1602, a payment was made for this play. But it wasn't published until 1631, and it's the only quarto of it. It's kind of unfortunate because it's such a messed up quarto.
Yes.
in many aspects. So we don't know what the copy looks like, but it does seem that it's a curious copy, because it does seem that the compositor, left out spaces there because of the fact that the copy was not in the best shape. And as you were pointing out, the ending certainly seems abrupt. So it's been always assumed that there's a part of it missing there. But the fact that they went through so much care, there's so many different variants of it, that I think I was reading that 5 times the dedication at the beginning was changed. Seems to me that they really wanted this to be printed, and they were making a lot of corrections to it to the best of their abilities, even though in the final product we're still having to fiddle around to make it make a lot of sense there. So
Yes.
for what that's worth.
Okay, any other thoughts? Otherwise, I'm going to close the session. No? Okay. Right, well, we had a lot of fun. Next stop is considering cuts and adjustments for potential other performances and what we might do with it, and of course the actual performance itself. Until that time comes, all that remains to thank all the wonderful readers for all their wonderful reading. Thank you very much, everyone, and goodbye. Call upon heaven, base wretch. Think on thy soul.